Right. Hello everyone. How are we all doing? Sorry about that. Just running a little bit late. I had a couple of things I needed to take care of, which lasted a little bit longer than I expected. But we are good to go now. We are ready to do it. Let me just move this a little bit so it's even. There you go. Yeah, you might notice a few little updates in the format, just a bit of text now. It's like join the free Discord, link in the description, and the current win rate is there as well. It's not really going to change much because obviously it's built up over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trades, but it's there if anyone wants to see it, if anyone's interested. Saves you having to ask me. But yeah, so GJ has took daily liquidity, which is perfect. It's gone exactly to plan. Everything has aligned exactly how I wanted it to. We're going to go into that now. But yeah, sorry about the delay. There's not really much to talk about today other than the trade I'm in, why I took the trade, and how you can get in now if you've missed it a little bit. Good morning, Donish, or good afternoon. And there's a little update to the text as well. It's now a little bit cleaner. I put a box around it, but you did not miss the GJ move at all, my friend. We are going all the way down to the bottom of the weekly range. Good morning, Jeffrey. How you doing? But yeah, so fundamentally today, all we had was the GBP 7 a.m. retail sales, which actually gave us what we wanted a little bit, which we'll get into now. So that's all we had to worry about. That's all we've got to worry about. We have nothing else to worry about today. It's already been. Now, moving on to the charts, you can see a lot of boxes. If we go to the 1 hour time frame, that's where we're going to start off on the daily time frame. Okay, going to start off on the daily. Now, the issue with the daily is that we are in the accumulation on the daily, so we might even just end up coming back to the bottom of the accumulation range unless we close. We'll have to play it by ear depending on how we close on the daily for this week. So this is the last day of the week, and obviously the daily candle will close as well as the weekly at the end of this daily candle. So we'll have to see how that closes. If that closes above the accumulation, it could still be classed as manipulation, but it's a little bit iffy. We may end up getting our stop loss hit. Good evening. But yeah, let me just move my mic a little bit. Yeah, so GJ has took daily liquidity. You can see the liquidity here. You can see a few of my scribbles, and we have took that liquidity now. Now it looks like we're coming to the downside. I did put an alert here. We didn't get hit because I just watched it normally and took my entry a little bit earlier, but we are targeting the other side of the accumulation range. Before we get into the analysis, guys, obviously you just got to do the YouTube business. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe if you're new, and if you are new, I do daily streams just like this every single weekday, 2:30 p.m. BST, same time, New York open, whatever time that is for you. In the free Discord, there is a market outlook and a free course. I do daily market outlooks to the Discord, exclusive, every single day. Obviously, it's daily. but yeah, that's that out the way. Make sure you're liking up the stream, guys. It does really help me out. But we have took the daily liquidity. My full TP is down here. I know it looks like we're going for a risk to reward ratio of 61.5, but trust me, that's not going to play out how you think it's going to play out. I'm not making 61%. I'm not making 120%. We might, but we'll have to see how it goes. But moving to the 1 hour time frame. I'm just going to get rid of this yellow box now. So we are still in or trying to break out of that daily accumulation range. Yeah. Now, moving on to the 1 hour time frame. It does look like we are trying to melt down and respecting that fair value gap. But what's going on? So I was looking, if you remember anything from, I think it's Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday or Tuesday night. One of those days. I think probably was Wednesday. I will see actually. Yeah, it was Tuesday night for Wednesday. I was looking for price. Actually, sorry. It was Wednesday night. Fucking doesn't know where I'm at, but if you remember anything from that, we were talking about how I wanted price to basically accumulate here, then manipulate down to this fair value gap, then come up and take daily liquidity, then move down. Look at what we've got. We've got that exact thing happened. It's just played out surely, but slowly but surely, every single day to this daily liquidity. So I actually took a trade here yesterday, I think. I made just under 1%. I got out about here because news. I didn't really think this was feasible because it was based on news, and we'll get into that in a second. But we had an entire AMD cycle taking out this liquidity up here. We took this liquidity. Then in my market outlook yesterday, I was saying that I'd want to see a accumulation here, then a manipulation up here, then a distribution to the downside. That's what I wanted to see on the 1 hour time frame. I did say that the distribution to the daily liquidity, so we manipulate up, we manipulate down, distribute up, that was more likely, but we got the less likely but more in our favor now. We got that cycle. We accumulated here, manipulated to the upside, coming into this daily liquidity here, and now we have distributed. So obviously distribution on the 1 hour time frame has done its job. That's, you know, I should have took partials there, I didn't, but it's done its job there now. So it doesn't necessarily need to go down, but we do have, you know, the daily fair value gap, the daily liquidity being taken as well. We have a lot of confluences to suggest that this is not just a short cycle of AMD, but bear in mind it has done its job. So we come up, as I said, do all these cycles. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of all these drawings for now. We don't necessarily need these at the moment. Don't need this liquidity here either. We don't need this or this or this. So we've got a nice accumulation here. Straight after what I said happened, straight after what I said would happen happened. We had a nice accumulation, manipulation to the upside, taking out this daily liquidity, formed a nice candlestick pattern which allowed me to hold my trade for longer. It gave me a bit more confidence for that. But if we go to the 15, you can see that we also had the same thing happen. We had a nice accumulation here, manipulation to the upside, to this liquidity, and then distribution. And now this is where everything comes together. It got even better because if we go to the 5 minute, this is where I got a really, really nice entry here, guys. So we went on to the 5 minute. I seen that we were coming towards this liquidity and we started accumulating just before it. And, you know, that was amazing. I was waiting for that manipulation to take out that liquidity, then the fair value gap pattern. I didn't necessarily need to wait for a fair value gap, wait for the candlestick pattern. Didn't necessarily need to wait for the fair value gap because we took daily liquidity. Now, daily liquidity is very strong, as you can see by its reaction there. But yeah, make sure you're liking up the stream, guys. It does really help. But yeah, so we take out this liquidity on the 5 minute in an AMD cycle. Then at the end of the manipulation, we form a nice candlestick pattern here. And that's where I got in. At the close of that 5 minute candle, the 5 minute bearish candle, that's where I got in. So I used the hourly, the 15, the daily, the weekly. I used pretty much every single time frame you can imagine in this trade. But it was even better because we got an AMD cycle extremely internal to show that we're going to start going to the downside, to show that this is the start of the move down. So I got in right here without any doubts. Very, very happy with that. Then we obviously melted to the downside. I held past here, haven't managed, not anything's going on here. I've just held and held and held. The reason I haven't managed is because I'm just going to let this play out. If it's a loss, it is a loss, whatever. I'm risking like 0.25%, if that, like 1.5 lots. So, plus there's another trade, which is, it's kind of inverted, which we'll get into in a second. But what I'm looking at right now is, well, what I'm showing you is that we've took this liquidity here. We then formed a candlestick pattern. I got in and we've melted to the downside, as you can see. Formed a nice candlestick pattern on the 1 hour time frame, which has given me extra confidence. So 5 minute candle pattern is valid. When you're pairing it with a 5 minute AMD cycle, yeah. But yeah, so we have a nice accumulation here, manipulation to the upside on the 1 hour time frame. Then we form a nice 1 hour candlestick pattern, as you can see, nice morning star, exactly what we got on the 5 minute. So I've seen the 5 minute AMD cycle playing out. So then I seen the 5 minute candlestick pattern playing out for my entry because of all these time frames that have got AMD manipulation to the upside. It was the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the hourly, the daily, the weekly. All these time frames have a manipulation to the upside. But for my actual entry, I went with the lowest time frame that AMD was on. I went with that time frame and went with the candlestick pattern on that time frame. Hope that clears things up for you. Afternoon, Dan. How you doing? But yeah, beautiful, beautiful entry on this trade. And then obviously we made this 1 hour candlestick pattern, gave me extra confluence. And in this candlestick pattern, we also formed a fair value gap, which as you can see, we are respecting. So what I might do is I might actually just move to break even. I don't think it's even worth doing because, you know, it's like not even half probably less than that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we're just going to let this play out, I think. But that gives us, extra confirmation. I think I'm going to take partials, so we're going to look at that now. That is obviously a long way away. I'm expecting this to play out through the course of next week. And also, this is just going to be on in the background. So once we're like all the way down here, once we're like halfway there, like at this red line even, once we're at that, you won't see it. You won't see the trade. It'll just be like this, and we'll just trade daily as normal. And then obviously, when this trade plays out, we'll go back to it and we'll reference it. So the people here now, this is pretty much the only stream I'm going to be discussing this trade in until it's played out. And it looks very, very nice. Very, very nice. Very, very clean. The only issue was this candle here threw me off a little bit. When we came down, took out this bottom of the accumulation range, then completely flipped. Because as you should know, once it's took the other side of accumulation, it has basically done its job. Plus it respected this fair value gap. So we got a little bit contradicting us, but we got a lot to suggest we're going to get a move down. Plus we've got a fundamental bias. So it's like, obviously we're going to be looking for sells here. But we're in very nicely in this trade. Now, moving on to the second trade that I'm in. This is moving on from, I think it's Thursday morning. I took this trade because we had a very nice accumulation, manipulation, candlestick pattern. I missed the candlestick pattern, but then I got in at the retest of this fair value gap, which gave me an even better entry than I would have got without it. Let me just turn this music down. I don't know what this is. So then obviously I took the buy position, and now I'm break even, completely risk free. What I might do is as well, I might actually just, because this is obviously a lot more of a bigger lot size than the GJ trade. So what I might do is I might obviously close the position, close like partials on AUD USD, which would make up for the loss if this was to go wrong. And then we are completely risk free. We could do that. And, I wouldn't really be sacrificing much from this. I'd be sacrificing like 1/10 of the trade. So, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, they're the two trades I'm in. GJ looks like it's melting to the downside now. If you can see that, it's 0.0. Well, it's 0 now. Floating around there. AUD USD going very, very nicely. Looking on the daily, very, very nicely. Nothing in the way either, really. This is the closest fair value gap. And as you know, what does price do? Seeks liquidity and fills imbalances. So we're expecting to come and fill this imbalance up here. But, other than that, like, they're the trades I'm in. As I said, there's not really much to discuss today, guys, because this is the entry on a swing trade. That's pretty much what it is, because it's like, it's going to take a few days, few weeks, maybe. But yeah, like, there's nothing much else to say. I'm not going to be taking any shorter term positions on GJ. I'm not going to be taking any other trades, really. I'm in 2 trades. I'm not going to be going higher than 2. I'm just going to let this play out. I'm not going to be taking any other trades. But what I will do is I'm just going to move this up here, highlight it red so I know I'm in a trade. Can you do green? Let's see if we can do green. Yes, we can. Get in. Highlight it green because, we're in profit. But now we're going to make our way through all these other pairs very quickly. So Bitcoin, what was I saying on Bitcoin yesterday? I did say to wait for the candlestick pattern, but I don't think we formed it, did we? We did not form the candlestick pattern. And as I also said in the stream, it's like one of those occurrences, it's just one of those days, one of those moves where we don't actually create the candlestick pattern to signify the move up. But this happens way less often than what we look for. And can you explain why you set the demand on AUD USD? Set the demand? I'm not too sure what you mean there. But yeah, the Bitcoin trade. Do you mean set the trade? H Rosario. I just did. But yeah, Bitcoin. What's going on Bitcoin? So we accumulated here, manipulated to the downside. I was telling you guys to wait for the candlestick pattern, which we did not get. Unfortunately, as I was just saying, it's just one of those moves. Then obviously we've come to the other side of the accumulation move, as you can see. We come to the other side of that. So distribution technically has done its job. We don't necessarily need to go higher up to here. I think ultimately we probably will come and take this at some point. But but you know, distribution has done its job. So the next thing to do, if you want to try and catch this move, and actually, I'm gonna actually get you how to catch the next, how to get in the trade on GJ. I'm gonna show you that now to get a good entry just after this. But if you want to catch the next move on Bitcoin, all you need to do is wait for the next consolidation. It's literally as simple as that. If you've missed the move, don't try and chase it. Just wait for the next one and do not miss it. Simple as that. And then when it does appear, have the confidence to take the trade. And yeah, it's pretty much all it is. But Bitcoin, that's what it's chatting. Wait for the next accumulation. It looks like it's already started doing that, but you know, I'm not really too bothered. So if you want to catch the GJ move, right, what you could do is you could probably just get in now, to be honest with you. Like, we've just respected this fair value gap. If you want to try and catch this move, it is a little bit more risky. Like, you should have got in up here or around about up here. But if you want to try and risk it, you can. You can put it here with stops just up here. Obviously, make sure you're still risking 1%. Don't try and be greedy with your R. Don't try and over leverage. Just risk 1 to 2%, nothing more. If you want to catch it, now is the time, really. We've got 6 minutes left on the 1 hour. It looks like we're going to close respecting this fair value gap. Very, very nice formation in respecting it as well. Looks like we're about to form a candlestick pattern on the 4 hour as well if we push down and close at least halfway past this bullish candle. We've got a nice candle there. But yeah, now is the time, really. Now is the time. If you want to get in, now is the time. Now is the time, to be honest. You could wait for a really small retracement if you want to refine your entry, but you know, now you can get in. It's not too risky. But make sure you put your stop loss up here and make sure you're only risking 1 to 2%. Don't adjust for the movement that you've missed, okay? Just stick to 1%. Now, this is a really fucking good entry. Just look at that wick there. That's my entry. Almost near the top of that wick is my entry. Perfect. AUDUSD, Bitcoin, gold, just wait for that consolidation. You know, that's not me saying there's going to be a consolidation there. Just say wait for the consolidation. Once we get a consolidation, then we can look at a move. Well, as you can see, that is just the continuation of distribution. I was looking for, if you remember the other day, you know, pretty self-explanatory: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We caught a move up to around about here. USD JPY, what's going on with that? Starting to accumulate. I said to wait for the accumulation. Now we're starting to accumulate. So do not miss the next move, guys. And also make sure you're liking the stream. Platinum, wait for that accumulation. Just wait for that accumulation. Don't try and catch this move. If you've missed it, just leave it. Don't miss the next one. GBP Swiss franc, what's going on with this? As you can see, pretty clean AMD cycle. I think I said that this was distribution. I said we were going to start distributing. I think people were asking me for sells on this one, and I was telling them this is going to be distribution. I'm not too sure what I said. It was a few days ago. I did say to wait for the next consolidation once we've took this, so we can expect that now. We can start, you know, anticipating an accumulation. Not that it's guaranteed. The 4 hour has no bottom wick, so we may continue down, come to respect this, and then head back up. We'll see how it goes. But GBP Swiss franc, we've done the distribution. You do not need to trade anymore on this. You just wait for the next cycle. Just that's as simple as it gets. Supply and demand. What do you mean, supply and demand? USD CAD. Wait for that accumulation. As you can see, we are accumulating again. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. What's going on with the Nasdaq as well? I think someone was asking me for this yesterday. Just wait for that accumulation. Now it looks like we're getting the X phase, which is a retracement of this move, but you know, this may end up also being an accumulation. So we'll see how that goes, but looks good. So that's pretty much all it is. GJ is melting. GJ is melting down. I think, is this not the lowest we've been, but we're pushing down now, which is very, very nice. Very, very happy with that. AUD USD pushing down as well. What I am going to do is I'm going to close partials on AUD USD, and then wait there. Going to close partials on AUD USD. Going to close 1/3 of it. There we go. So we've locked in basically the loss that we would take if GJ was to go bad. So, and we're break even on AUD/USD, so we're completely risk free in both of our trades now. And we're also up like 2.5% for the week. So it's pretty good week. Can't complain. Cannot complain. Euro USD. What about it? But yeah, so that's pretty much all there is. If you want me to look at Euro USD, just ask me. See, like Gustavo. Yeah, I will. I'll explain it now for you. So, Euro USD, what's going on here? So we've had, obviously, the distribution, which may even just be the expansion phase, completely moved up. So we got a nice accumulation here, then we got a nice manipulation to the upside, distribution down, and then this looks like a just exaggerated X phase. I don't even know. This is just completely messy. It's basically just the DXY. If we go to the daily makes a little bit more sense. This is the distribution on the daily. We've got a nice accumulation here. If that candle was a wick, we would obviously just put it down here, but that's a nice accumulation. Manipulation here, taking out this liquidity here, then obviously moved up. So that's just the daily, overpowering the 4 hour there. Bit messy, that's why I don't really trade this, but yeah. Moving to the 4 hour, we've just got to wait for that accumulation. Like, that's it. Once we start accumulating, Gustavo, we can then go to, the high time frames, look for the fair value gaps. But all you got to do now is just sit on your hands, wait for price to start accumulating. Once it starts accumulating properly, then we can look at where we can manipulate into. Yeah, I will do that now for you. So pretty much GU and look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up Euro USD here and GBP USD. By the way, there's no point if you trade both Euro and GBP USD. There is no point. You're doing yourself more damage than good there, to be honest with you. They're all correlated, and I'm about to show you that now. So just take in what's going on the 4 hour chart on AUD USD. Yeah, look at what's going on. Yeah. Now let's move to the Euro. Near enough the exact same thing. Obviously, the Euro has probably outpowered it a little bit with a little bit more of a move down, but you can see it's like near enough the exact same thing. This candle, what's this 4 hour candle saying? So large top wick, small bottom wick, bearish body. Large top wick, large bottom wick, bearish body. After a nice push up as well. Let's see what GBP USD is saying. Let's see if GBP USD looks the same. And of course it looks the same. More like AUD USD than anything. See how closely correlated those are? That's because of the DXY. Now I've explained this multiple times, but the DXY is correlated with all three of those pairs inversely. So if the DXY moves up or if the dollar moves up, those three pairs move down. And they will move down at the same time, the same way. That's why I'm saying there's no point in you looking at the Euro USD and GBP USD at the same time. It just doesn't make sense. There's no point. They're literally the same thing. They're most active at the same time. They're correlated with the same currency pair. They move the same every single time. So, there's not really much to analyze other than the fact that we've accumulated here, manipulated down into this fair value gap, into this liquidity, formed a nice candlestick pattern, although we have kind of broke through it, so I'd look for another retest before you take your entry. But in terms of AMD, we've got a nice accumulation, manipulation, and a distribution to the upside. So you can look for an entry now. If you look for a retracement back to this fair value gap, back to this one here where this liquidity was, you can take an entry there. But, the safest thing to do is just wait for this. If we take out this accumulation range, if we take out the high of the accumulation range before we come down to this fair value gap, then that trade's invalidated, so do not take it. Euro USD is probably near enough the same thing. Very, very messy though. A lot more slanted, but we've got a nice accumulation here, and we've just kind of carried on that distribution for the Euro. So what this tells me is that we are basically overpowering the Euro, overpowering the dollar on Euro USD, whereas on GBP USD and AUD USD, because they look so closely, they look the same, it's clearly not the AUD and the GBP coincidentally doing the same thing at the same time when they're in completely different time zones. It's obviously the USD, which means that the Euro and the USD are having a little bit of a tug of war here. It's ongoing constantly, but a little bit more power towards the Euro here than anything else. So I just wait for another accumulation on this. Just wait for accumulation, maybe on a lower time frame if you want to trade Euro USD. But considering you trade both of them, you should be all right with GBP USD. And my advice is just stay away from one of them. Pick one and stick with it. You don't need both of them, considering the fact that they're so closely related. Like GBP JPY, Bitcoin, and gold, those three pairs aren't really the same. If I was trading GJ and USD JPY and Euro JPY, then those three pairs are basically the same thing. So there's no point trading them. So just, pick one and stick with it. It'll make your life easier, especially if you're not profitable and especially if you're a beginner. Thank you. I'm going to learn the corrections. No worries. But yeah, guys, like, as I said, there's not really much else to discuss other than this trade, which we've already discussed. Taking the entry, I've shown you how to get the entry. You can basically enter now. We argue a slight retracement. If you want to hold back and be a little bit safer, you could wait, see how this candle forms, then wait for price to respect this fair value gap here. We argue a slightly bullish retracement as well, just the mini one, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. AUD USD, GBP JPY, both technically break even. I secured some profits on AUD USD, which will make up for the loss on GBP JPY. So I'm basically risk free for the week, or for these trades, up 2% and like 2.5% in total. Very, very nice end to the week. Nothing else to discuss here. I've ran through all the pairs, or the usual pairs, a few extras as well for you. But yeah, there shouldn't be anything else I need to do. There isn't anything else I need to do. Nothing else I need to share, because I'm not going to be taking any other trades. Until one of these trades closes, I am not going to be taking any other trades. It's just my plan. Just my plan is what it is. You've got to follow the plan. But yeah, that's all I got to share, guys. If you're new here, I am live every single day at 2:30 p.m. BST New York time, New York Open, on YouTube. Click the bell and you'll get notified. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Like the video, guys. It really does help me out. If we get 30 likes, I'll be doing something for free. I'm working on a psychology document, but if we hit 30 likes on this video, I will release it sooner rather than later. And don't forget to join the free Discord. Got to plug that as well. If you join the free Discord, there is free market outlooks every single day and a free course. Like, you can get in moves like this if you're in the free Discord. You're gonna miss it if you're on if you're just waiting for the live streams. But yeah, that's me done, guys. I hope you have a good weekend. I hope you have a great weekend. And I've got nothing else to share. That's me done. And yeah, take care, guys. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend. Make sure you're journaling your trades. Make sure you're reviewing your journal as well. And I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Take care. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good